Assalamu alaikum. Hotep, namaste, Jumbo, shalom, ashe, shalom. All the greetings of love and light to the darkest minds of the light. I am Napashida. We're going to have some fun today. How's everyone doing? Please hit the like button. Please subscribe. I'm so glad you're listening in. If you are listening in, even if it's live listening in or playback listening in, if you see the title, I'm just letting people know that, be sure to tune in later. We're going to go over some of the PseudoKilligan's Island information. You know, it's interesting because for PseudoKillis has been going around calling people pseudos. And I talked to somebody today. Actually, I talked to Ankh. It's not a secret. Shout out to Ankh. And I just wanted to make sure that, it's all fun. I'm not trying to hurt anyone's feelings. I don't want people to take this the wrong way. When I say PseudoKilligan's Island, I'll give you the background on it. But I talked to him and I let him know, or actually I asked him, is it bothering him? He said it's funny, it's not a problem. It doesn't bother him. So I just wanted to check with him on that, because calling them PseudoKilligans is really just a response to them going around for years calling people pseudos. Me personally, I don't mind when a group like PseudoKillis calls me a pseudo. It's a compliment, because number one, pseudoscience isn't a trash science, so to speak. There is some, how do you say, it does have some worth. It has some purpose. That's number one. So when you hear somebody say pseudoscience, or it's not like, oh, this is just trash. There is something. I'm a philosopher. I'm a metaphysicist. I know that if someone says pseudoscience, me being leaning toward the philosopher side and the metaphysical side, it doesn't bother me. With that said, I do also subscribe to mainstream science, and I know for a fact that I'm very good at what I know in mainstream science, and better than most, especially of the castaways on PseudoKilligan's Island. But some people get offended by it. So when I get it, some people think, well, I'm scientific. I'm not pseudos. I'm not a pseudo. And so it offends people. Let's be honest. A lot of people get offended when they're called a pseudo. And that's fine. PseudoKilligan's Island, PseudoKillis, they've been going around calling people pseudos for years. When I coined the term, or started calling them affectionately, really, it's not even them. It started with Cedric. When I started calling them PseudoKilligan's Island, I thought Cedric, he seems to be okay with it. He even told me, I think he thought it was funny. I call him Professor, just like with Ankh. But there are some people who are trying to make it like, get malicious and act like they're so offended, even though there's a lot of bitterness that comes out of certain people who attack people all the time from PseudoKilligan's Island. With that said, I don't really want anybody's feelings to be hurt. I don't want anyone to feel like when I say PseudoKilligan's Island, even though, if you throw rocks and you shouldn't live in a glass house, but, you go around calling people pseudos all the time. I say PseudoKilligan's Island as, it's just a jab to Cedric at first. But, I don't want anybody to even associate themselves with PseudoKilligan's Island if you hear me say it. Now, I was going to stop saying it, but I talked with Ankh. He said it's okay. He has no problem with it. Just, he's like, but don't think that you won't get a response, which is great. I would like a response. The response has to match my energy. Get it? You call me a pseudo. Cedric's from the island. He's very intelligent. I called him the professor. That's actually where PseudoKilligan's island came from for me. I was talking about Cedric on the island. You know, he's in the islands. He's, I think he does something he does some lab work. He works in a lab. So I thought when I was going in on him once, I was doing a show on him. Once I was talking about him and I said, you're on the islands doing in the lab. What are you, professor off of Killigan's Island? Then I called it PseudoKilligan's Island. That's where it came from. Anyone trying to attach herself or himself to it and be like, oh yeah, the rabbit got the gun. It's like, no, that's for the beef section or whatever sector. That's for the gutter. I don't need to. I'm sticking with the information. When I go over some information, I'm not trying to police people. They could do what they want. They can act gutter. They can go and try to do. Y'all know I'm not unfamiliar with people doing videos on me, changing my pictures, which happened last night, which I was laughing. She couldn't wait to do something to my picture that shows that, I'm so damn fly. The first thing they want to do is mess with my pictures and talk about how I look. Isn't that interesting? Shout out to all the fly sisters. You're fly until you start messing with people's pictures, but that's okay because people think, oh, you can dish it out, you can't take it. Y'all know I can take it. I've been on this internet for 5 years, and I've been getting deep fake AI pictures changed for people, freeze frame unattractive pictures. People call me say that I'm doing beast, you know what, with animals. People say that I'm a PDF file. People say that I'm a HO. People sharing doing revenge porn. So you guys know I'm battle tested, but I don't want that. I don't want that with I thought it was an intellectual group, but I really didn't. Wink wink. I knew what time it was. But I'm not going to go low. I'm going to continue with the jokes. I like joking around with Cedric. Cedric told me himself, what was it, last year, a year ago, that he doesn't have a problem with me calling him professor. He thinks it's funny. Ankh says it's funny. So I just want to say this to anyone who is on PseudoKilligan's Island or in the Pseudo Killers. If this bothers you that I say PseudoKilligan's Island, don't worry about me saying your name or ever associating you with the Gilligan's Island joke. I will bring you up because I have to read something. I have to show something. It's embarrassing. Y'all tried to read some scientific information. It was hilarious. I will have to bring you up because you're over there in the pseudo killers, but I will make sure, because you're sensitive, to always say you're not associated with PseudoKilligan's Island. When I call people PseudoKilligan's Island, I will make sure that I say not you, so your feelings won't be hurt. Okay? 1 second. Hey, Janae, I didn't even look in the chat. I gotta call you. Hey, just wait a minute. Just give me a second. Peace, Caleb. Peace, Mr. Wednesday. I'm pulling up. Late Show's here. Don't worry, Late Show. It's not going to be all that. Trust me. I'm not going to do that this year. Hey. Okay, so I'll be doing my show later. I have some things to do. But yeah, it's funny when people, isn't that interesting in this? That's a sign of, like, to me, mental illness. You go around calling people pseudo, making fun of people. You go around trying to pretend that you're smarter than everybody till someone smarter comes along and starts exposing you. And then all of a sudden you want to start going low and calling people names. And when I say calling people names, I don't mean PseudoKilligan's Island. I mean, you want to mess with people's pictures. You want to call people Miss Piggy. Oh, girl, you just don't even know. Boo boo. I'm going to show you love, though, because I know under all of that anger and bitterness, there's something going on with you. It's not just me that you do that to. You do that to a lot of sisters. And I just want to, I'm going to show you love. When I talk about PseudoKilligan's Island, because I'm still going to refer to pseudo-killas as PseudoKilligan's Island per Ankh is okay with it. Cedric is okay with it. But I will say a disclaimer that this has nothing to do with the person. On my show that I'm doing later, I'll say, this isn't about you. I know you're sensitive. I'm not referring to you when I say PseudoKilligan's Island. You may be a pseudo-killa, but when I say PseudoKilligan's Island, I'm talking about Cedric on his island, that he's actually on an island, and Cedric working in a lab and calling Cedric the professor, and Cedric gets a laugh out of it. And I do want to say this. I hope Cedric can hear this. Cedric, don't let anybody twist you and make you feel like you have to be, I get it. Somebody might be putting a battery in your back and saying, oh, this is disrespectful. You're a grown man. You're intelligent. Obviously, this isn't disrespect for me to jokingly and lovingly say PseudoKilligan's Island. Because also, I want to say this. I'm not going to, again, I'm not saying any names, but everybody knows. You know who I'm talking about. Like, I'm not saying any names, but why are you so angry? And oh my God, why are you so angry and bitter? Like, why are you always so angry with women? Why? Hold on a second. Yes. Okay, sorry, I kept getting a call. Let me read the chat. Peace, Lady Kier. Peace, Naphtali. Um, Peace, everybody. And Naphtali, I'm looking forward to seeing you do your show on the HOK. Yay! Naphtali's gonna be on the HOK. Putting it down. Pause, talking about her work. But I gotta say pause on everything because people are so crazy. For me, it's not pause, but I know people do crazy stuff and say crazy things. But yeah, I heard the news today. I'm happy. I don't know. Sonetter's so weird. He's like, now, baby, don't get upset. I'm bringing Naphtali. I'm like, are you crazy? I want you to bring Naphtali on. You're the one who's been, but anyway, I'm glad you're going to be on. I want to see you go in on Ron. Yesterday, when I said I thought you were closing out, that wasn't me saying I didn't want you to come up. He came in and was trying to save Ron Dalton. Shout out to Sonetter. He was trying to save Ron Dalton, talk about, I'm closing out. He was texting me. So that's why when he was like, oh, Naphtali's backstage, I said, oh, I thought you were closing out. So yes, I want you to definitely come on. Maybe, oh my God, he's calling me. Anyway, that's Sonetter calling me while I'm live. And yes, he 100% is ready for, at the end of the day, let me say this. At the end of the day, we are better than the beef sector. We're better than the black sector beefing and changing people's pictures and getting all ghetto and gutter, not ghetto fabulous, but we do have fun. We don't have, I know y'all know, and Naphtali definitely doesn't have thin skin. I don't have thin skin, but what we're going to do is still keep a level of respect. Like, when I say PseudoKilligan's Island, you already were bitter and angry trying to call me Miss Piggy. Girl, bye. I look so fine and fly. I'll be Miss Piggy all day and fly. Oh my God. Like you had that in you. Instead of saying something more creative like, Napa, you don't know this and this, or Napa, you can't get this information. You want to go down low, but I'm going to go back up high, just like Dr. Too Sweet, just like Naphtali. I'm going to keep banging on you with the information. I'm not going to get in the gutter and start talking about your looks and talking about how you, calling you different characters. Notice that I never called her anything offensive on PseudoKilligan's Island. I called Unc Skipper, which is hilarious. I only called him Skipper one time because he was up there doing something. I said, y'all need to save Skipper. And I call Cedric. I call Cedric the professor. I know that women can get, like, we're women. By the way, ladies, even though we have thick skin, don't let people make you think that you're supposed to just take all kinds of abuse and nasty things said about you. And if you don't like it, you're not capable of being in this community. If somebody's calling you a pit bull or going under your clothes, you have a right, or calling you a pig, you have the right to be like, damn, that's offensive, but I got you. You know what I mean? You can still be in this community, but you still have a right to be like, I didn't like that. What I'm trying to say is, we can poke fun at each other. Like Naphtali even knows, like, I'll say little things. Now I'm in a good place with Naphtali, thankfully. I'll say little things still, like, about her, maybe like the Canaanite maniac, something like that. And of course people think, damn, like people who want to egg it on, be like, oh, she was dissing you. She called you the Canaanite maniac. But that wouldn't cross a line. You get what I'm saying? Now, if she came to me and said, Napa, I don't like you calling me the Canaanite maniac, I would stop. Just like I said, Professor Cedric said he was laughing at it. So I would stop. You get it? So we can poke fun, but people, as a woman, I'm talking the women, you don't have to have people calling you pit bulls and pigs, and you don't have to do that. You do not have to do that. Somebody talking under your clothes and saying inappropriate stuff, saying, oh, you're not tough. You're not tough. No, that's not part of it. We are doing scholarship. So at the end of the day, we may throw out a little joke. The Muppets things was funny. That's funny. When they were like, oh, they're the Muppets. Haha. Yeah, that's a hilarious joke. You got us. But when you start getting vicious and trying to call people Miss Piggy, and you start trying to call people little things that are very, very nasty, then you're not doing high-minded scholarship. Then you're not being what you say you are. You're not being scientific. You're not being intelligent. You're just being who you really are. Low level, low vibrational, bitter, angry, but I still love you. I'm gonna have love for you. And you think it's fake love because you're like, oh, it's just sweet, and you're mocking it. I really see that a lot of women have a lot of anger, and it has nothing to do with me. The old me would have clapped back quickly, done some, made some pictures of that person, gone and got this and said, oh, this and this. But the new me is saying, okay, I'm not going to say anything about you. I'm going to make sure you're not associated. When I say PseudoKilligan's Island, I'm going to make my disclaimer, not on this, but you'll see who I'm talking about. Y'all already know. I'll say, you don't like it. I'm not talking about you. You may be a pseudo killer, but you're not on PseudoKilligan's Island with Cedric, who is 100% on PseudoKilligan's Island because he's a pseudo killer. He's on an island and he works in a lab. So I call him Professor. You get it? So, but at the end of the day, we're doing scholarship. We're really trying to be intelligent, right? You're supposed to be trying to make an example, right? You say you want people to be scientific. The first thing you got to do is teach them discipline. The first thing you got to do is teach them how to carry themselves in a professional way, in a public environment. You don't want to be just like the rest of the gutter YouTubers. I know you don't. You don't want to play with people's pictures, right? You don't want to call people out their name, right? To offensive things, not the professor. If somebody called me Marianne or Ginger or even Mrs. Howell, I would laugh my behind off. If somebody start calling me the monkey on that shows up on that show, then I'd say, oh, okay, now they're being disrespectful. You get it? So don't play in my face if you don't want me to bring you up. But I'm going to make sure I don't bring her up. Meaning, no, correction. I am going to bring her up because she's over there trying to pretend that she knows how to read and she can't. Okay, get me on that. Let's do this. I don't have to call you out of your name. I don't even have to say PseudoKilligan's Island. You cannot read. Everybody, this is the part. If you want to clip anything, clip this. You can't read. And when you see a word that you don't know, you don't even go look it up. That's the first part of intelligence. You're supposed to be able to read those papers that you're going over. And if they take the video down, y'all, it's because they know that I'm about to go in on them once again over there on PseudoKilligan. See, I don't have to even say PseudoKilligan's Island. I will be going in on the embarrassment that is going on over there for far too long. Not only, you're right, you're not scientists, and you're not even scientifically literate. You're not even scientifically literate. Okay, you can't even say most of the scientific words on the paper. That's fine. There's a lot of words that I can't pronounce, right, everybody? But guess what? I will go find out what the word is. And if I'm sitting over on a channel where I make fun of people, check, I damn sure am going to make sure I can say the word correctly. If I'm sitting on a channel, you see how my voice changed? I can go in without talking about your looks, without calling you pig or dog. I can get you. I bet you if I was making fun of people saying they don't know what they're talking about, I bet you if I was saying that I'm smarter than people, you would never catch me not knowing how to say a word and just running over the word as if I'm saying it correctly, and I'm not even saying it even remotely correctly. We don't do that. Okay? Sonnetter does that, but he don't give a damn. He's not over here talking about, oh, I know all this and all of you dummies don't know anything. How are you going to tell us we're dumb and you can't even read scientific papers correctly? You don't even know what the words mean. Get ready. 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock East. 8 o'clock Eastern. I'm doing it 5 o'clock Mountain Time. We are going to show you. I don't have to make fun of your looks. I don't have to call you PseudoKilligan's Island. I'm going to make fun of how you can't read scientific papers. And it's going to be fun. Because guess what? You say the rabbit got the gun. I don't even like that saying. People are going to love it to see you exposed for being the fakes and for you having the audacity to sit on a channel and make fun of Doc Sweet's her degree. You're gonna make fun of somebody's degree talking about, I don't even know if it's transferable. You sound petty as hell. You're tearing down other Black women and Black people. You sound petty as hell. So we will get it. See how I went in at the end? See, I don't have to talk about your looks, boo-boo. I don't have to call you out of your name. I'm gonna get you for where it hurts, where you say you're so intelligent and you're so smart. And by the way, this is for Doc Too Sweet. Notice how she talks about Doc Too Sweet's degree and makes fun of it and says, oh, she's customer service. But every time she opens her soup coolers, and that's not a diss because that's something my grandma used to say. Every time she opens her cappuccino latte coolers, she's telling us about how her friend is a teacher. Her other friend is this. What about you, boo? What you doing? Sitting on the internet bashing people, talking about people who do real research, talking about women who go out and learn and do research and who try to better themselves and better the image of the Black woman. You sit on the internet and make fun of Black women because you need that pat on the head. You need it. You need it. I'm still waiting to see the debate. Has anyone ever seen her do a debate? Not me. I haven't. Because all you do is sit up there underneath somebody's ass cheek, pretending you're the boss of some shit. Yelling at people, telling people off, being disrespectful and rude, sunning Cedric like he's your baby boy, when he's probably 3 times more intelligent than you, and that doesn't say much. See how I'm getting it in without talking about anybody's looks? See how I'm getting it in without talking about calling anybody out of their name? I'm just telling facts. See, this is how I bang. Got it? Just telling the truth. Telling the truth, just my observation, everybody's observation. I won't say your name because I don't want you to get the clout that you're already getting off of me. But people know who I'm talking about. We will be going over that paper. Okay, this stings a little bit, but I won't. I'm going to take it. I'm going to leave it at this level. I'm not going to take it any higher because at this point, I know all that she can do is go over there and start talking about, I don't know, the nudes that were shared of me. I don't know, the deep fake AI. You won't get my information. You did not go over Max Planck's statement about matter deriving from consciousness. You did not go over my information about Dr. Grayson, a real scientist who is doing studies on OBEs, NDEs. You didn't even touch the University of Virginia's Department of Perceptual Studies. I'm right here. I am Napasha Daw. You like it, I love it. But in 2025, I'm going to try my hardest because it is easy. Don't think it's not easy for me to play with your pictures. And people know I can get very, very atomic when and I mean splitting fish. I'm talking about a fission, I'm talking about blowing up atomic bombs. I can get real atomic when it comes to a bitch's looks. I don't care if she looks like Beyonce, because they play with mine and I know I'm fine as hell. So I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is stick with the information. I don't see you doing anything. I don't see you debating anybody. You ran from Naphtali. You ran from Doc Too Sweet. You ran from me. You run, running. Keep on running. You can make fun of my singing if you want. It doesn't matter. I am here to show that you don't know what the hell you're doing over there in PseudoKilligan, pretending to be superior to other people when it comes to science or anything. No, denied, access denied. Okay. And I love it. I love how you guys make fun, but we love how you make fun because we make fun of you making fun. Like I said, I liken PseudoKilligan to a bunch of people walking on with no drawers on, no pants, no bottoms at all, just free willy-nilly, running around with just shirts on, trying to point at everybody, talking about, ooh, you naked. Ooh, you naked. That's what I liken you to. And with that, I will see you later. We critique some of the scientific activity going on over there on PseudoKilligan's Island. Shout out to the professor. Shout out to the skipper. Let me check these comments. Draws. Peace to my brother outside the cube. Yes, Cube, peace to you. And peace to my brother Law. I'm going to just close this out, but just tune in later. We're going to go over them. And if you want a good laugh, Cube, I know you want a good laugh. Please come in and listen to me critique these. I don't know what the hell. They make fun of people and they're talking about they want to see the proof. They want to see the scientific papers. They can't even read the scientific papers. Shout out to the HOK. Peace and love to you, Queen. Peace and love to you, Lady Kiera, and everybody. Yes.